All right. Some of our favorite streamers are doubling down on the streaming is socially draining more than regular jobs. Blah, blah, blah. Hasan's unhappy.
I canceled on Twitter again, obviously,
really?
as always.
Oh, fuck.
This time it was for me saying that I run out of my social battery after 9.5 hours of streaming in a way that like a real job doesn't.
Oh, God.
And everyone immediately
You
like
never
they
had a
clicked
real job, dumbass.
I did. I worked in sales, so it was like a very social job as well. So I know exactly what like people pleasing looks like, and it's like fucking annoying and awful, right? So I was making a comparison between like my experience as a salesperson versus my experience as a Twitch streamer, and I was like, it's so soul sucking, like it's so soul crushing, and I can't socialize after that, and I feel so bad because I was talking about going to March's house. March at a housewarming party. None of you guys were invited because you're not cool.
I was invited and I didn't remember until yesterday.
I was there, right? And I brought Kaya and she was being the best girl, but I also felt like I was looking like an asshole to every single person because I was like pouting the whole time. I'm really fucking tired. I take one drink with
It's always
March.
the Hasan show.
I take one drink with, and I was like, I have to get the out of here. Like I'm so
You
tired.
got hungover immediately?
Yeah, I think it's because like I'm fucking tired after 9.5 hours of streaming, right? They clipped it like 30 seconds of it to be like, Hasan, streamer says, dumb socialist streamer says like, fucking real jobs are way easier than streaming. And it's like, that's not what I was saying. Here's the fucking context. Nobody gives a shit. There's like hundreds of thousands of fucking likes. Led me to actually delete Twitter.
What?
I deleted Twitter from my phone. Yeah. It's really important for me to have Twitter on my phone for my job. Obviously, I need to like constantly be fucking up to date on what the fuck's going on in the world. But I feel like at this point, it's just not worth it. It's so like being on Twitter and being extremely online is literally like being in a room where you're making the dumbest people on the fucking planet yell at you nonstop.
And so you're not using Twitter ever again?
No,
he just took it off his phone.
He'll use it on his PC.
Yeah, because I need to have it for my work. But yeah, I'm not gonna because I was like looking at it and it was like fucking me up.
Well, yeah, you were up really late last night.
No, I went to sleep at like 11. I just woke up at 4 and I was like going through Twitter and I was just like, fuck this, dude. Like, what the fuck am I doing? I deleted it.
Good for you.
Yeah,
this is a positive step in your mental health.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish there was a world where you could just like if I could just like quit and restart as like a VTuber and be somebody totally different. Because I feel like I've ruined so many first impressions and I've just made so many mistakes online that are just like micro.
It's so funny you say that because like you didn't.
I just wish I could start over.
You didn't, but you feel that way and it feels very real to you. But like from where I'm standing with the amount of like genuine fucking hatred and vitriol that I have, I feel like yours is because you're a woman. That's
no,
it.
I've done some stupid
No,
shit.
you haven't. No,
yeah, one time
Shut up. No.
Oh, wait.
No, 100. Okay, go ahead. I didn't mean like literally shut up. Go ahead.
I can't believe you.
You just might not be built for this lifestyle. Doesn't make the job hard. Because I'm not going to lie to you, some of you content creators are brittle as And Hasan has got to be the most brittle person. He's always crying and whining and about the fact that people are it's so unfair. People just hate me. Shut up. Oh, shut up. You're just brittle. The job's not hard. You're soft. That's not the same thing.
The job's not hard.
This job is not difficult. These guys are just soft. And if you look at their history of what they did as work before, not a single one of them had a truly difficult job. Not one. Hasan wanted to lie about he was in sales. Bruv, you did that for like a couple months. That was it. And then you went up to work for your fucking uncle because you're a Nepo baby. Most of these people have never had to do difficult jobs. And the ones who do generally don't find this shit hard. Asmongold did a 1.5 hour video on this topic. I cut it down a little bit to some more important parts.
Go ahead.
And we'll take a look.
Obviously, being a streamer is not very taxing physically. It's clearly not. And I think for a lot of people, it's not very taxing mentally either. I think streaming is a great job, and I would rather stream than have any other job in the world. There are obviously negatives that exist with streaming, but those negatives don't outweigh the positives. The big difference is the monetary difference between other jobs and being a streamer. Being paid a lot of money doesn't make problems go away. Being paid a lot of money makes it easier to deal with problems. There's actually studies that have been done on this, and I can show you the graph. I'll do it now because I think people are going to disagree, because for a lot of people, and this is really the reality here, is that I'm preaching to a very tough audience, arguing my point of view, because for the majority of people that are watching me and disagreeing and getting angry, the biggest problem in their life is money. So for them, the idea that you can't, like, that money isn't the problem, well, this is going to very much upset them because they look at it from the perspective of like, well, if I had money, then this would totally solve all my problems. And I think if you work at many jobs, that's absolutely true. And I want to show that with a graph. So let me go ahead and do that. These are some graphs right here that I can show. And these are studies that have been done over the years with a number of different people. And basically what you see happening is that, especially whenever you're reaching, you know, again, into this like leading up to like $200,000 a year, more money will absolutely make you more happy. Absolutely it will, 100%. But that does not necessarily mean that more money infinitely will just make you more and more happy. And that's the perspective that I'm making. That's the point that I'm making.
That's the point I was making too. That's why you should turn your stream off. You make millions. At 200K, you'd be just as happy or close to it. Turn your stream off after 5 hours. That's the point I'm making. You have the luxury to do that. See that graph? Everyone else lives on the bottom of that curve where it's fucking dog because they have complete financial insecurity. They don't know if they'll ever be able to afford a house, be able to send their kids to college, be able to take vacations, be able to pay college and pay off their debt. That's where most people live. You live in the upper bracket where infinity is not in existence, but you're going to continuously be happier. Marginally with time, but still happier. So why don't you just turn off your stream and then stop dealing with all the extra stress that you're self-imposing?
If 9 hours of stuff, do half. If half of that is stuff, you're still going to be good.
Yes.
That's exactly what.
And I know there's gonna be people. Well, you know, you're not gonna be as popular. That's not true. Okay, there's plenty of streamers who take months off and they're fine. I know this as a content creator. I take months off. I think I took 2 weeks off in February. The year before, I took a month off in like September, and then I took another month off, I think in May. I took 2 months off out of the year. Why? Because I can afford to. Why? Because I know, all right, if I keep doing this work, it's not going to be that great. So I'm going to be responsible. And because this job affords me the privilege of choosing my hours and stopping and going whenever I want, I can. And guess what? My audience is amazing. They come back. They respect it. They appreciate it. They're like, yo, if you post me there, and if you don't, take care of yourself. I respect that.
So were you saying that you're taking a break before it becomes taxing and unbearable?
Yeah. And you know what? I can. I could never do that at my old jobs.
Nope.
Yes. So I would never compare.
No. Oh, they're gonna ask questions.
Oh yeah.
And you're gonna be on sick leave, and they're gonna ask questions.
Yeah.
That's only going. So what did your doctor say?
Money is such a big problem in their life that whenever they hear anybody say anything that is even adjacent to money isn't a problem, it immediately, and I'm not trying to be mean, but it unironically triggers them. And so they stop thinking about what's actually being said, and they start arguing against something that they've heard before. They get emotional about it. And I understand that. I've been in that position myself. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I ever said. Yeah. And I don't think that that's really what Hasan was trying to say, because he was really talking about, and like also like, I don't like, because I've watched Hasan for years. I've known Hasan, I've talked to Hasan. I don't think that's really what he thinks. Now, maybe he should have said it in a way that was better, but I don't think that he thinks that. So like we can talk about the way that he communicated that, and if it could have been communicated in a better way, sure. But I'm talking about like what the intent was behind the communication. These guys are right. I mean, they're right that, yeah, he did say that. I think that it was very clear in my mind that wasn't what he intended. So like
I
we
can
can talk
only
about
go
the way
on what he said. Like I cannot go on what you think he said. I don't know that. I can just go about what he actually said. And what he actually said was garbaggio. That's it. And it's okay. It doesn't make you... You said that. That was a dumb take. Move on. You think that's not what he said or this and that. How am I supposed to know?
People didn't take him out of context. He just misspeaks.
That's the difference.
Those two things are not the same.
Thank you.
If you're over here, you're like, oh, I don't really like black people. And then people are like, whoa, what the fuck? And you're like, no, the context was like, growing up, there's a lot of people who happen to be black who hurt me, and I didn't like those people.
That's not the same thing you said.
Well, bitch, use the right words. That's your
not what you
problem.
said.
Don't get mad at people because you can't communicate and orate yourself properly.
If you're saying shit is out of context, but the rest of the context is in your head, it's not out of context. It's in your head.
There's what people mean, there's what
That's
people
not context.
feel, and there's what people actually say. And you said some really dumb shit. Not you specifically, but Hasan did. And then you came out and defended it very ardently based off what you thought he meant. Nobody's trying to hear that shit.
Yeah.
And I know Asmongold knows this, because a while back, he was telling game developers, I don't care how hard your shit is, nobody's trying.
Totally fucking true. Absolutely 100% true. And I said that with streaming. Absolutely. Nobody gives a fuck how you feel. And it's the same thing. Like, so you can make, and this might seem like a bit of whiplash because I'm talking about like two separate things, right? So like I can talk about like the ethical world that I think is best and that I try to live by in the cases that I can, which is trying to listen and understand how other people feel and trying to like basically compromise with people by understanding them and taking them at face value and trying to empathize with what people's perspective is. I think this is a good thing. Back over here in reality, outside of my own ethical utopia, nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck. This is the hypocrisy.
here, make the fucking games.
Xavier's tweet was well-intentioned, and he went on to add a lot of important.
He made a lot of very good points. He did.
But I think it misses the perspective of the consumer.
I literally said that. And this is the thing: is developers need to stop. Like nobody gives a fuck. About, oh, it's so hard. Shut the fuck up, pussy. Stop crying. You either do it or you don't. Holy fuck. Just nobody cares about. Oh, it's so hard. Oh, well, this is. Bro, you're talking to people that work in construction. And you're gonna say that it's hard. Your job could be more demanding than that. I don't know. But guess what? To them, it's not.
But now when it's you guys, like, oh, we want, and you expect sympathy for what reason?
No, I don't expect it at all, and I know that I won't get it. No, he's totally right. This is a complete contradiction of what I'm saying, and that's what I was talking about before, with like how I think things should be versus how I think things are. And like, in my opinion, I find it to be problematic that people think that way, but I also know that that's true.
Which, that's not even being good faith. And I mean, you can see that way. I think that's being incredibly charitable to someone that you have close ties to, because I've seen you not be as charitable to game devs, for example, or to other streamers who've complained who you may not be friends with. So to me, it's interesting that you extend this much charitability to Hasan, but you, like you said yourself, you have a very good relationship with him, or a strong one, and so that's why.
It's really not the same on so many levels, but anyways, I think we are saying the same thing as Asmongold. It's just that, well, no, Asmongold's saying the same thing as us. The difference is just that he's saying that, well, he can read minds, and I can't.
Oh, he knows Hasan, so I think he knows how he communicates.
So he can read his mind?
Sure, or he just understands them better. He can interpret things better because you understand somebody. It's
When
like
your
when you have a
name-
child.
when your-
It's like when you have a child. You know when you have a child and your child goes, ooh, ooh. So a lot of people-
You want some pears and napkins, and then you want to take a nap, and after that you want to take a 2-hour walk?
Yeah,
no problem. What the fuck?
Hasan's his baby boy.
No, but I like the idea of him reading minds because Asmongold sounds like a wizard name.
You know what's funny?
What's funny?
He made his career playing World of Warcraft.
See? Not crazy.
No,
That's a wizard. This motherfucker's like a paladin or as another sorcerer or some shit like that.
Yeah.
A necromancer. I'm just flashing shit.
Did you say Negromancer?
Negromancer. Hey, what up, my dead people? What's up? Rise up! New York, LA, Philly, Chicago. Everybody rise! That's Negromancer.
I can just see that. You see the dude just bobbing in the cemetery, and then undead just popping up. Yo, I'm not gonna lie.
New York, Miami, Frisco.
That'd be a crazy class for like some kind of voodoo undead necromancer.
Everybody right, Negromancer.
Yeah. Papa, what's his name?
Papa Legba. No. Baron Samedi.
Baron Samedi?
So, I mean, especially with like social media, right? Like you have to be posting all the time. And of course you can take time off. Absolutely. But there is a risk to taking that time off. And I'm not saying that it's not a privilege to be able to do that. But what I am saying is that it doesn't come with a cost.
Turn it off after 5, but because they want to make more money, they keep streaming. And then they want to get up here and then complain about how hard it is. Who here gets to choose their fucking hours at work?
Not a lot of people.
The fact that you guys even have the goal to compare yourselves to regular people when your extra hours of labor are rewarded with more and more money is insane.
Well, I think most people get paid overtime, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, if anybody is working extra and you're not being paid for that, you're not getting paid overtime. Not salary? Oh, yeah, that's definitely true. But if you're being paid hourly, you do get paid extra.
No. Especially not if you got a salary.
When you have a job when there's some things that don't fit your description, that's overtime. It's overtime. You're not working overtime. You're just compressing more work within that time.
So you brought up the salary stuff. Yeah, salary's a thing. Most people who work salaries sometimes have to work 12-hour days and they just don't have a choice. They're just part of the game, okay? That is a thing for some people. Even at hourly jobs. You know one of the most infuriating things? Is that you can't even clock it in as overtime. But sometimes your boss is like, yo, can you handle this just before you leave? And you know that fucking work takes a good 30 minutes, but it's 10 minutes to close. So you can say no to your boss. But how do you think that shit? It be little things like that. When you've had a long fucking day, but you don't have a choice to opt out. You as content creators always have control over your lives in that regards when it comes to work. When you are working hourly, there's so many little things that happen just as you're about to leave work that make you stay. I even stay 5 minutes, y'all be pissing me the fuck off because you're not getting paid for that time.
5 minutes is never 5 minutes.
Yes.
First.
No,
First
not at work time.
Can you do this shit? It's gonna take only 5 minutes. Fuck you.
Yeah.
It's never that. The second thing, what I hate the most is whenever you do overtime, is you have to proceed to do overtime mathematics. Because at some point, it happened to me when I was on the phone. You do overtime for a certain amount of time, because you increase your tax bracket, you end up with less money than if you hadn't had done the overtime.
Because overtime is taxed at a different rate.
Oh
which
my
pisses
God.
you off, so you're already losing money. I've had sales jobs, I've had military, I've had government, I've had it all. Okay, it fucking blows.
Yo.
Like you don't get compensated the same way. Like you guys get a flat rate no matter how many hours. Everything is incrementally more money. That's not the case for regular people. So they're actually rewarded less for spending more time at work. What's more, you work from home. One of the greatest privileges that you guys have is you don't have to deal with long commutes like everyone else. Do you know how many people are literally dying? They are dying going to and from work because they have 1 to 2 hour commutes. This is not my opinion either. I'll put up the graphs and the studies, but it is actually super nefarious for people's health and their mental health to have to do those long commutes. So all those little details play into the fact that people look at your job. And at the end of the day, this is what it is with streaming. You can frame it however you want. You can say it's hard. People are going to hear streaming and say, you get paid to play video games. What people do as a hobby, you get paid to do. And they get paid millions, more than doctors, engineers, pilots, government, congressmen. They get paid more to play video.
Now, this is, in my opinion, I understand it, but I to be honest with you, I really don't respect it. I'm sorry, but I don't respect feeling that way, because it's an emotional perspective that's selfish. And I think that anybody out in the world has a right to own their own problems, and nobody else in the world has the right to take that away from them. And I really dislike this idea that because some person has it bad, they try to go out of their way to invalidate other people who have other problems that they deem less important. I think this is an incredibly toxic way of talking. It's an incredibly toxic way of looking at the world.
I'll say, we don't have the right to take it away from you, but we do have the right to tell you, shut the fuck up, because we ain't trying to hear that shit.
Yeah.
We have the right. The same way you can voice it, we can tell you to shut the fuck up. Mm-hmm. Let's say I have a stream, and I'm complaining because my child has gastro. And I'm like, it's really frustrating that my child has gastro. It's really difficult to have to deal with, which it is, right? Like, your child being sick is not the greatest feeling. And your viewers are all people who lost their children in a recent war. Is it okay for me to be like, I don't give a fuck about the fact that your kid got gastro? When all your viewers are all, is that okay?
You're no kids.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't care about you.
Isn't it insensitive of you to be complaining about your gastro kid when everybody else lost their children, like, permanently? Is that okay to say, like, I don't really give a fuck?
I think it's okay.
I think this is similar.
But it's okay
Multi-millionaire with all the options and financial flexibility, time flexibility in the world, complaining about the fact that their work is tiring to people who mostly have to work shit-end jobs.
And I really dislike this idea that because some person has it bad, they try to go out of their way to invalidate other people who have other problems that they deem less important. I think this is an incredibly toxic way of talking. It's an incredibly toxic way of looking at the world. And at the end of the day, I think that we're all very privileged in a lot of cases. That's why we're sitting on here with high-speed internet, probably in most of the cases, air-conditioned houses in a first-world country in many cases as well, according to my analytics, having conversations about this kind of stuff. We are all incredibly privileged, at least according to many other people in the world. I think this is the case with everybody's job. And you see this all the time on the internet.
Because you're well compensated, extremely well compensated for the level of difficulty of your job. And this is how most people internalize this and whether or not they want to hear about your suffering. How difficult is your job? How well do you get compensated for it? If your job is extremely difficult and hard to manage, but you get paid peanuts, complain as you want.
I don't think so. I think that actually I don't agree with that, because if you look at, for example, like culturally, I think that culturally people definitely look down on construction workers. They look down on sanitation workers. Absolutely, that's true. And they get paid shit.
Who the fuck gets paid shit?
He doesn't know.
No. Who the fuck? Construction workers get paid shit?
They definitely don't get paid shit. But he just might not know. So if we're being charitable, he would have just chosen another job that doesn't get paid well. He just doesn't know. But they definitely don't get paid well. You should know better.
Nigga.
To be fair, I didn't know this, but a lot of garbage men are apparently paid really well.
Yeah, better than teachers.
Okay. Hey, listen. It's not too many people willing to pick up garbage for a living, so I met it.
Well, not a lot of people are willing to teach kids. Anyways, carry on.
There's a lot of people willing to teach kids.
A lot less.
Today. But there's still way more people who
People that
want
wanna
to teach kids.
Concur.
I don't care what nobody says. Try dating a girl, be like, I'm a garbage man. God bless your soul. You know what? I don't even think garbage men tell the truth about what they do for work when they date. I don't think you can. I don't think you can say that, because there's no way socially that's
every garbage man says they're the driver.
Yeah.
I'm not in the back chucking that shit. I'm driving that bitch. He's not. He's not.
So what do you think he would say when he's being asked? What do you do for work? What do they say?
I'm a supervisor of sanitation.
Yo, all the garbage men. I need to see y'all in the comments. I'm actually mad curious. What y'all say when y'all be on these dates?
I'm supervisor of sanitation. I work for the city, which you could.
I work for the city.
I work for the city.
I work for the city.
Yeah, whenever you do a comedy show and people tell you I work for the city, what do? You know, city, you're a cop.
Just.
You're a cop or you pick up the garbage. Both.
This is what I'll end up this whole conversation. Can YouTube or content creation be difficult? Yes.
Yes.
But it's as difficult as you make it. And therein lies the whole crux of this whole topic. It's as difficult as you choose to make it. And if you want to ratchet up the difficulty to the ultimate percent to get the maximum amount reward, go right ahead. Just don't cry about it afterwards because you're well compensated for it. Content creation is not hard. It's many things. It could be time. Yup, go ahead.
Time consuming. It could be emotionally draining if you don't go into the comments. It can be time consuming living out here.
It could rid you of a lot of your privacy.
Yeah.
Fair.
Depending on how you manage it, but sometimes, yeah, no, fair. Yeah.
Content creators, stop comparing it to regular jobs. You look stupid.
That's the bottom line.
Anything else?
Nope.
All right, guys, you can complain about your problems. Leave regular people out of it.